All right, let's do it. Let's talk episode 546 of the podcast. I'm your host, RJ. Yankees White Sox. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya!
Anthony for three, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied!
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win!
All right, so we're not going to waste much time. Welcome to the show. You know what to do. Episode 546 of BD4. Before this White Sox series, we got some injury news, promotion news, demotion. Jonathan Loaizaga back from injury. He returned this series and pitched a clean inning in the middle game, I believe. Again, Johnny Brito was optioned for this move on Sunday after the Houston game. Nick Ramirez back up with the Yankees. He also pitched this series. Anytime Nick Ramirez pitches, it's either mistakenly, or I should say, in a tone-deaf manner in a high-leverage situation, or it's in a low-leverage situation where he belongs. So it's never good news when he's in, regardless of how decent he is or has been. Carlos Rodon out now with a slight left hamstring injury. And also news that Davy Garcia was DFA'd and just recently picked up by the Chicago White Sox, who took 2 of 3 from the Yankees this past week. Everson Pereira is starting to get some to make some noise. He's been hitting very, very well down below in Scranton. And I bring this up because Andy Martino had a report recently saying that the Yankees did not want a left field bat because they are considering calling up Everson Pereira. It's funny that they're considering that. That's amazing to me how you didn't grab a left field bat because you're considering. It's also hilarious because if they cared about winning so much, this kid would have been up here a long while ago, but we know what the Yankees are doing. They want to manipulate service time. August 19th is the date for those who don't know. That's the official day that he can get promoted with that extra year of team control because we all know Brian Cashman loves his years of control. I wouldn't expect him to come up right then because that would make it look obvious. But then again, this is a pretty dumb as bricks organization, so who knows? The Yankees are very pathetic with their prospects, man. Like what they are doing with Peraza. They wait so long last year for the service time shit. They finally call him up. He hit well. He made a start in the playoffs for them. And now most of the year he's spent in AAA this season, when clearly the Yankees need third base help. Plus, Volpe hasn't exactly lit the world on fire at shortstop. But yes, I forgot. Sorry. You want to make money, right? Because Volpe's very marketable. He's young. He's Italian from Jersey. He's got the whole shortstop thing going with Jeter. Sorry. Peraza doesn't have that shtick working for him. It's all about money. It's Florial, small sample size. Peraza, small sample. The leeway for them isn't there because they're not Italians from Jersey. So I wouldn't be shocked if they said, fuck it with this kid now too. I will say this. It's going to be interesting to see how the future outfield plays out. If you're asking me, in the offseason, I'm going after Bellinger. I'm letting Bader walk. And then I'm heading into 2024 with Pereira playing right next to Judge and Bellinger until Dominguez is ready. Hopefully Dominguez, who is batting .339 in his last 30 games as of Tuesday. Hopefully he gets promoted soon to AAA when Pereira gets promoted to the majors, and then maybe 1 or 2 months at AAA to start next season, and then we see him. I don't know. But that's just your housekeeping. We'll talk some more prospect stuff and what the Yankees should do after we recap this series, which we're going to do right now. I'm not going to I didn't make any graphics for this series because who cares? We're not going to head to any break right now. We're just going to dive right into quick recaps. Monday night, the Yankees lost 5-1 to the White Sox. This was the start of a 9-game road trip with a couple of days off. Cole versus Cease. Bottom of the second, the White Sox score first. Vaughn hits a 2-run home run to make it 2-0 Chicago. And then the Yankees get one in the top of the 7th. That was the next run to come across. McKinney with the sac fly, 2-1 Chicago. Bottom of the 8th, though, that's when the game ends. The White Sox blow it open. Benintendi, the sac fly, 3-1 Chicago. And then Luis Robert, who had a big series, hits the 2-run double to make it 5-1, and the Yankees lose 5-1. The bats, I mean, they were 100% useless and abhorrent. 1 run on 6 hits, 1 extra base hit, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts, 1 of 12 with runners in scoring position, and 13 left on base. DJ LeMahieu singled to give the Yankees their first hit of the ball game in the 6th inning in this game that knocked Dylan Cease out. And Dylan Cease is a good pitcher. He won the Cy Young last season, but he has been struggling this year. He walked 7 batters in this game, yet the Yankees find a way to hand him 5 1/3 shutout. I mean, the amount of opportunities they had in this, I would say it's surprising, but it's not that they didn't cash in. Top of the 2nd, bases loaded, no outs. Volpe fly out, Rortvedt fly out, Bowers ground out. Top of the 3rd, 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. LeMahieu ground out, no runs. Top of the 6th, bases loaded, 1 out. IKF had the pinch hit fly out. Bowers then lines one. Sharp grounder to first base, which just captured the Yankees season and won with that nice play by the first baseman. No runs. Top of the 7th, bases loaded with no outs once again. And the only thing they get is a McKinney sac fly. After that, you had a pair of strikeouts from DJ LeMahieu and Harrison Bader. You got 1 run. Top of the 9th, Judge had the leadoff double. He's on second with no outs. That's right. You get nothing. Glaber fly out, Stanton pop up, and I think McKinney strikes out. So in 2 consecutive games, bridging from the Houston game on Sunday, leading up to the end of this game on Monday, the Yankees managed to strand 28 base runners and bat 167 with runners in scoring position. That's unbelievable. And yeah, Laz Diaz sucked. Terrible calls on the outside part of the plate all night long. And Boone even got tossed from it in the 8th inning. He made himself into another meme. If you haven't heard by now, I don't know where you've been. That's been blowing up. I personally don't care. Nice job, pal. Thanks. It was 5 innings too late. And at this point, spare me the bullshit. Because I'm kind of over it. It's a tired act. This loser shows all of his urgency towards umpires, but never, ever, ever towards his own team. And when you think about it, it makes sense as to why this team is so lackluster. But, yeah, I'm not blaming umpiring for this loss. The Yankees didn't do jack. Judge led with 2 hits, McKinney led with an RBI, and nobody homered. And again, a bunch of guys getting on base a couple of times from walks, but Doesn't matter if you don't score. Pitching-wise, Garrett Cole was fine until he lost it, and then Canely lost it. Cole was 7+ innings in this game, 4 runs, 5 hits, couple walks, a hit batter, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run, and 105 pitches. He gets the loss. Listen, he was pitching great baseball up until he went back out for the 8th, and I loved the move to send him back out there. I thought it was the correct call. I'm always going to be for letting your ace go, but he simply ran out of gas and he lost it. He left 2 cutters up in the zone, and that led to a couple of base hits from Sheets and Elvis Andrus, who can't believe that guy's still in baseball. That started up the inning and it knocked Cole out. I will say that Garrett Cole continues to work very well with Ben Rortvedt. Again, he's mixing up his pitches a lot better with Rortvedt. We're seeing him go to that cutter way more often, which was a successful pitch for him before the 8th inning. And he's now gone 7 innings in 3 consecutive starts now, all with Rortvedt. So take that as you may. Canely, an inning, a hit, 2 strikeouts, 1 run, quote unquote, but he let up all 3 runs. He comes in with first and second, no outs, simply does not have it. He makes the error on the sac bunt from the pinch hitter, and that advances both runners into scoring position. And then he allows both inherited runners to score with a sac fly and a 2-run double when he threw a 1-1 fastball on the outside of the plate to Luis Robert. So in total, he allows a run off of his error and then both of Cole's runs to score. And listen, I know people give Boone shit for going to his relievers in the middle of innings, and they don't love that, but I never give him shit for that. I rarely do. I think if you're a reliever, especially one of the team's go-to guys, your job is literally that. Your manager calls on you to save the team. Like, hey, look, our ace ran out of gas tonight. We're calling on you to stop the bleeding and get some big outs for us. Can you do that? You're supposed to be able to do that. Like, that's literally the part, like, that's part of the job of being a reliever. It's to come in and stop the bleeding sometimes. Be the fire hydrant. So anybody criticizing Boone after this game, I think it's a little reaching. Because again, I said I had no problem with Cole going out there. But they lose. They won the second game, 7-1, on Tuesday. Clarke Schmidt versus Toussaint. Top of the first and second. The first 5 strikeouts for the Yankees, or the first 5 outs, were strikeouts for the Yankee bats. And then the top of the third comes. Judge strikes out. Bowers gets caught on the bases for the first time this series. He has 2. He got picked off, and then he got caught going to third this series. Top of the fourth, though, the Yanks get on the board with 6 consecutive base runners, 4 hits in a row, an anomaly. Stanton single, McKinney single, Kiner Falefa rips a 2-run double, 2-0. Bader ripped the RBI single, 3-0. Then Volpe walked, Rortvedt walked, and then Bowers hits the sac fly to make it 4-0. White Sox answered back with a run in the bottom of the fourth. Luis Robert, a home run off of Clarke Schmidt, who left a slider with no spin over the heart of the plate, 4-1. But Toussaint was done after 5, and then Schmidt after 5 1/3. And then the Yanks broke it open against the Chicago White Sox bullpen in the 8th when Bader singled. Higashioka hit the 2-run jack, pinch hitting for Rortvedt. And then Judge, the tack-on home run after that. 7-1, the Yankees win. The bats finally cashed in for 7 runs on 13 hits, couple runs, 6 walks, 17 strikeouts. Unbelievable. Bader had 3 hits. IKF and Higgy, couple RBIs. IKF with the big hit of the night. Judge, 3 walks. Judge and Higashioka, a home run. And yeah, 17 strikeouts is pretty fucking pathetic, win or lose. The arms were great all around. Schmidt, 5 1/3, 1 run, 4 hits, a walk, a hit batter, 7 strikeouts, a home run, 88 pitches in the win. More on Clarke later. We'll wrap it up on him. With him. King, 2 2/3, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Jonathan Loaiza, good debuts, and 1 inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, a strikeout. He looked good, and a very low-pressure ninth with, that's the perfect way to put him back in. And he looked really good. Filthy two-seamer at 99, paired with that changeup. Yeah, it's a shame that it's going to be meaningless baseball from here on out, but I've always liked watching Jonathan Loáisiga pitch. Wednesday, final game of the series. Yesterday, and the Yankees lose 9-2. This was the game that's still being talked about right now. Ian Hamilton went into this game as the quote-unquote opener, and Severino the bulk guy. You thought it was smart, right? Day off tomorrow. The bullpen's rested. You thought it was smart. Like that they were going to skip Severino total. Hamilton pitched a clean 10-pitch first inning. Like it was the perfect excuse to skip Severino completely. Everybody in the world was in agreement that you cannot start Luis Severino or pitch Luis Severino anymore after Houston. But at the same time, everybody in the world kind of knew that wasn't the deal because that's not how the Yankees operate. And so what happens, somehow, some way, in an amazing fashion, the Yankees let this guy walk back out on the mound. And he makes his appearance in the second inning of this game and immediately wasted no time and puts his team in a 3-0 hole. And at that point, you just chuckle. And that was all she wrote. I mean, really, that he put the team in a damper as soon as he stepped on the mound. And Boone, being the incompetent fool that he is, even let him go back out for the third inning to pitch another one. And what happens? Yes, correct. He allows a fourth run. Amazingly enough, that wasn't even it for Severino. He had to walk the leadoff guy in the fourth inning to finally be pulled. I mean, listen, this loser Boone's comments on Severino as the bulk guy before the game, paraphrasing, but he goes, "I hope this helps because I see him as a real game changer." These guys, I've just come to the conclusion that they're very dumb. They're very dumb. Like, they're just very stupid. An opener isn't fixing Luis Severino. Just like tipping his pitches wasn't the problem, going from the stretch wasn't going to fix it. The Yankees will literally try every single thing before it's too late to fix it. Put the spreadsheets down and join everybody else who have been telling you he's just not the same guy he used to be. He's washed up from all the injuries. He's a shell of himself. It's not just the first inning. That wasn't going to fix shit because he gets killed by the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters as well. It's always everything but the harsh truth with the Yankees. They're stubborn, tone-deaf, delusional, afraid to end a marriage. They're just flat-out stupid. And if you think about it, the whole opener shit was probably just to appease the fans. Because why else would any individual of sound mind taking Hamilton out after a 10-pitch first inning for the worst pitcher in baseball? There's no other answer, but they were just trying to appease the fans. Throw the fans a bone. Give them something to eat. Satisfy them. Quiet them down. And an even funnier part was Boone's post-game comments on not sticking with Hamilton. Telling us that we were saving him for Friday. On August 9th, in last place, 5-6 games out of a playoff spot, 3 teams to catch, with just 40-something games remaining in the season, you're preserving. Right, got it. That's the Yankee way for sure. Very competitive mentality you've got there. We're not still doing that, are we? We're not still doing the whole save for a rainy day crap. It's August 10th, bro. The Yankees lose 9-2. Severino was Severino. Stanton had a couple more fake RBIs. The Yankees continued to run the bases and play defense like a second-grade team. Bauers Torres, and they deservingly lose, falling to a ghastly 59-56 on the year. We will be right back. When we get back, we'll try to make it quick and wrap it up from there.
We appreciate you sticking around and listening so far. When you have a chance, be sure to open YouTube to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you're already watching on YouTube, be sure to head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We appreciate your feedback and are always looking to improve. Now, with that all said, let's get you back to the show. You can also find us on social media. If you'd like, you can follow BD4 on Facebook, and we're at BD4Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. We appreciate you helping us grow more and more every day. Let's get back to it.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. It's simple. It's time to give up. The season is over. You're not making the playoffs. You're probably not finishing the season 500 for what that's worth. You're a bad baseball team with bad players, a bad manager, a bad general manager, and a bad owner. I just think the Yankees need to concede, surrender. And with how much this organization loves their built-in excuses, you'd think they use the one right now in front of them, which Severino is tanking. Rodon is out with the hamstring now. DJ LeMahieu hurt his calf. He's out. Josh Donaldson is done, and Aaron Judge has a bad toe. So if that's not the perfect excuse to stop what they're doing, quit playing meaningless players on walk years, and start bringing up some of these prospects, I don't know what else is. Like, where's Peraza? Stop fucking with the kid's development. Again, last year, you stuck with IKF for too long. You finally bring up Peraza. He hits. He starts a playoff game. This year, he's back down in AAA. Where is Everson Pereira? Stop worrying about your years of control. I don't need to see any more of Kyle Higashioka. I don't need to see any more at-bats from Kiner Falefa. I don't need to see Harrison Bader get more at-bats. Or anybody else who won't be in the pinstripes come next season. I don't need to see getting at-bats. I don't need to see them getting reps in the field. That does nothing for me. What does something is seeing an Austin Wells catch. Give me a Clayton Beater. See how he looks on the mound. Not Adam Warren. What's the kid? Will Warren. Dare I say Jason Dominguez and Oswald Peraza and Everson Pereira. Like, work towards something. Progress your franchise and start planning for next year before it's too late. John Boy, actually, they brought up a good point on his show last night. Talking about how maybe you should start stretching Michael King out as a starting pitcher. Because with the rotation influx, they're going to need arms in the future. Rodon might be Sonny Gray. Severino's gone. You're going to have spots. Bottom line, start playing for next season today. Let Aaron Judge get the surgery that he's going to eventually get. Why not do it early at this point to give him a jump start? Give him as much time as possible between now and spring training. They need to start doing that. At least fans will be tuned into that with something to look forward to. Right? We're not going to sit in purgatory. That's something to look forward to. It adds a little flair. And it gets your franchise going in the right direction. But when do the Yankees actually do this? I don't know. Definitely after August 19th. Probably in September with the roster call-ups. But I will say this. They are right now on the verge of being buried. Because to wrap this road trip up, you have a young and hungry Marlins team. And then you've got the best team in the National League, maybe baseball, in the Atlanta Braves. So there's a decent chance, and I'm rooting for this, that the Yankees fall to, say, 7 or 8 games out of a playoff spot between now and then. And at that point, it'd be right around August 19th. And you'd be officially unofficial a non-playoff team. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when they finally surrender. Because the fans are all out. We're done. I'm done. I've never actually hated a Yankees team. It's always been exaggeration when I say I hate this team. And I still don't think I hate this Yankees team. But this collection of players, I shouldn't even call it a team, is the closest I've been to hating a team without hating a team yet of my own. I am so ready for this season to be finished so I can stop watching. Because I'm going to keep watching since there's something wrong with my brain. There's something wrong with the Yankees' brains too, because apparently Brian Cashman's job is safe next year. Aaron Boone's might not be, per Bob Clappish's report. But Cashman's job seems to be about safe, and that does not shock me the slightest because he's best friends with Hal and his family. It is a good thing that it's kind of gaining traction. Like with the Cashman criticism, you may be seeing now that it's not just Yankees fans overreacting, which maybe it was at some point, but now it's legitimate. Like you're starting to see some real attention to this fire Cashman shit. National media, New York media, who wasn't always like this, the entire fan base is against Cashman now. Like they've all turned. And that was definitely not the case even just earlier this year. I remember I was on Twitter talking to some idiot telling me, what did he expect? What did I expect Cashman to do in the offseason? And I went on a whole tangent on him. Like, I don't think that guy's going to be saying that same thing now. And not only did Cashman do 0 in the offseason, again on top of again, he did 0 a couple weeks ago or whenever it was to address the team at the deadline. He didn't sell, he didn't buy, he quote-unquote stayed the course, and the course is on this directionless path. We are officially in a time where the Yankees are now heading towards old New York Knicks territory, and old New York Knicks are headed towards the old Yankees territory, or the new Knicks are headed towards the old Yankees territory. In terms of the path they're taking, yeah, the Yankees are getting less respect, deservingly, and the Knicks are starting to get some more respect, deservingly so. We are in a twilight zone. I mean, the Yankees have literally regressed in every single category across the board from last year to this year. If that's not showing the incompetence of a general manager, I don't know what else is. And now I got to sit here and pretend I care about this team. We got to hand out our tip of the caps. We're running through this. I'm tipping my cap to Aaron Judge this series. Walks, hits, a home run in there. He looked good on the bases. He looked good. So Aaron Judge, I'm tipping my cap to him. Clarke Schmidt was solid again. He got into trouble a few times in this series. The second inning in that Tuesday game. He had the walk and the hit batter, but he got out of it using that curveball to Sheets. And then the sixth inning comes. He puts runners on the corners with one out, but Michael King comes in and escapes the jam for him. So, the third time through the order is still a problem for Schmidt. But again, I've got no issue with Schmidt as this 5-and-5 guy, right? Bend but not break. He had the cutter working some, the two-seamer, the slider, and the curveball looked especially sharp. It had a ton of arc to it. He went to it often, and White Sox hitters went 0 for 5 on the curve with 4 strikeouts. The cutter, he was elevating eye levels with it. He looked good. He was limiting damage all night. He allowed the home run, but of the 16 outs that he recorded, only 4 of them were in the air. And now that makes 3 runs or less in 16 of 17 starts since May for Clarke Schmidt. That's an ERA of 3.50. And if you take that blow-up start versus Tampa Bay, where he allowed 7 runs in early May, it's significantly better. So it's time to show some respect too, please. Like in a year where not many guys are performing up to expectation and performing good enough to keep a spot, Clarke Schmidt deserves a little respect for staying healthy, being consistent, and giving the Yankees a chance every single time he steps out on the mound. With Rodon struggles, with Severino struggles, with Nestor struggles and the injuries, and Brito struggles and the whole Domingo Germán nonsense, like, it's time to show some goddamn respect to Clarke Schmidt for being in the 1% on this godforsaken team. The number 2 to Garrett Cole. Appreciate that. It's okay to. And lastly, I'm going to tip my cap to Michael King, because he looked filthy, and he's been looking filthy again ever since the Ohtani game. He's gotten back on track, which is nice to see. That filthy fastball slider combo was working. The fastball was sitting 98, the four-seamer. And when that's at 98, that slider, sweeper, slurve, whatever you want to call it, looks even deadlier. It's even more difficult to hit. And you could tell. He had those 2 strikeouts to Vaughn and Moncada in the 6th off of that slider. That was a big inning for him there. And then he had 2 more in the next inning. He went back out there and pitched 2 more innings after that, just about 2 2/3. So he looked good. And that's that, guys. I'm not wasting my time further on this team. So we'll head to break one last time, get back, and we'll wrap it up with our question of the day. And that'll be that. Stay with us. Be right back here on BD4 episode 546.
If you have time in the day, or maybe just prefer old-fashioned reading over listening, then you can always follow along and subscribe to BD4 Blog by going to BD4blog.com. We're not on there as often, but when we do post, it's just as entertaining, opinionated, and passionate as we are on this podcast. Thank you so much. And let's keep on with the show. Studio 69 Productions is a production company that allows content creators of all genres to market their podcast or whatever project they're working on. It's an online platform that will promote your content, no problem. All you have to do is get in touch with film director and podcast producer Leo Rodriguez from Say No More Podcast, and you're good to go. You can find him on Instagram at Studio 69NJ, Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born.
All right. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Like I said, this is going to be a run-through episode, so we'll wrap it up here. And we will wrap it up with our question of the day. All right, so for this episode 546, our NYY-NYK-MMA trivia question of the day is: on May 24th, 1936, which Yankee set the American League record for RBIs in a game by driving in 11 runs? On May 24th, 1936, which Yankee set the American League record for RBIs in a game by driving in 11 runs? All right, so one final time. On May 24th, 1936, which Yankee set the American League record for RBIs in a game by driving in 11 runs? So let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. If you get the answer correct, I'll give you a shout out in the next episode. Guys, I appreciate you all tuning in. That's going to be it for this episode 546. I'm your host, RJ. It is a late Thursday night, August 10th. I'm tired. I want to edit this show, drop it, and then go to bed. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Guess go Yankees. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you. And we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees and go Knicks.